This section here is dedicated to local people of the area. It's pictures of different families and people that have donated family pictures and things. And one lady in particular that we, excuse me. One lady in particular that we like to talk about is this lady here. Her name is Victoria Claflin Woodhull. She was the first lady to ever run for President of the United States. Now, there's no proof that she was born in Beech Creek. Lynn's history of Center and Clinton County says she was, but we have no paperwork because back then there probably wasn't any. But her father, Buck Claflin, was the first school teacher in Beech Creek, in a little one-room school on Main Street. But that's his daughter. She ran for president, and who knows, she may have been born here. We don't know. We'd like to think so, but there's some people in Ohio that say, we like to think so too. This area here is dedicated to the schools of the area. There was the Blanchard School and the Beech Creek School, which were both high school type schools. And then there was several one-room schoolhouses in the area. The Hagen Schoolhouse, the Hubbard Schoolhouse, the Clay Schoolhouse, and the Bitner Schoolhouse. Those were all just little one-room buildings. And the building that was the Bitner Schoolhouse still stands today. It's on the road between Beech Creek and Mill Hall down towards Laurel, on the Laurel Run. We have different things here from the area. Mr. Bose just brought in some yearbooks from the Blanchard School from the 30s, I believe, and before. And we have some old report cards and some other old yearbook type things. Back then, the yearbook wasn't so thick. It was just a few pages. But we have a safety patrol belt. I don't know if anybody ever had to wear one of those, but I did one time, and we have one with the badge. So, and for anybody that wants to laugh today, this is me, fourth grade in this room. This section here is just donated, or it's just dedicated for some different pictures and history of the area. There's some Orviston Monument things there. There's some Beech Creek things there, different people, different things. On the top there we have a drum corps, I guess. This carousel is full of books and things, pictures from Monument, Orviston, Beech Creek. And then further back here, we start into looking at some crafters from the area, painters and people that did Mr. DeBonis did a pot or a clay jug for us, and this area here. There's old records from the school that were in the basement and ready for demolition when when they got saved. Up top here, we have some farming things, a cradle for cutting the wheat, and an apple butter stirrer. And then this is a plowshare that Mr. Coakley told me today was what they called a two-sided plowshare, that you could flip it from one side to the other, and that way you didn't have to, you could just turn around and come back. And we have some post office stuff from the old post office to the new post office, which isn't new anymore, but lots of different things. Next, we'll move on here to local businesses, and this is display cabinet here is just bank stuff from the Beech Creek National Bank. And then there's other businesses here that were in the area at one time. And
yeah, Larry Coons and I were in the same class coming through Blanchard.
Yeah. Yeah. There's pictures here of the brickyards, the grist mill, store down front. This was a store, a place across the road from First Corner store, or First Corner restaurant there. They called it Seven Kitchens, and it was more or less a boarding house. And it's gone now.
Where was this church?
I believe that was in some of the area that the dam told. Trying to think, Hunter Run area. That might have been the Hunter Run Church before, but it was painted by Charles Smith, who was a resident of Blanchard. This is Mr. Smith up here. He did a lot of painting. We were fortunate enough to get one. His daughter Phoebe brought that in. And then we have pictures from the brickyards for when they got safety trophies. And one on top there is Ormiston, and then the bottom one is Beech Creek. And I think they're both from 1927. But I don't remember exactly. I'd have to look it up. Next, we move on here to some different items from different activities. We had railroad items from the Beech Creek Railroad. Beech Creek Railroad was a short line that ran from Jersey Shore to Cherry Tree, which is just inside the Indiana line beyond Clearfield. And it hauled passengers and freight, and for the longest time it was a major means of travel for the people that lived in Ormiston, Monument, and a town called Peel that was out over the Beech Creek Mountain, or not, out over on the railroad. We have some other things here from mining, logging, and this article out of a book talks about when Consuelo Vanderbilt wanted to marry the Duke of Marlborough. The Duke of Marlborough wanted a dowry. He was given Beech Creek Railroad stock as his dowry. Now the article says $2.5 million. Now I don't know if that was today's money or their money, but it was a sizable amount of money. But he used the money then to fix up Blenheim Palace.
Right, yeah. What does that have to do with this area? I mean,
yeah, Blenheim Palace was rebuilt, remodeled from Beech Creek Railroad stock. And Blenheim Palace was built for one of Winston Churchill's descendants that won a major battle for the English in a town called Blenheim. And so they built him Blenheim Palace. Well, then several generations later, the Duke of Marlborough needed to fix it up, so that's when he got with Consuelo Vanderbilt and got the money to fix it up. Story goes, he just married her for the money, and after it was over, why? There was no marriage anymore, or not much of one anyhow. Now, Blenheim Palace is also, well, it was built for one of Winston Churchill's one of his great-great-grandfathers or something, and it's still part of the Churchill family still has it. Now, there was a time when the Spencer family was involved, and that would have been relatives of Diana Spencer. Princess Diana.
I see the fire.
Huh, yeah. Next, we have some things left over from some bags and things left over from the grist mill.
Yeah.
Picture of what used to be the tannery. And we have a cab that was never used for a Beech Creek truck, which was built back they tried starting that company back around 1915, I believe. And they built two. That's all they ever got done. One went to Mansfield to the dairy, and the other went to Mr. Smith over in Blanchard, who was a farmer.
Is that Francis Smith?
I'm not sure what.
Jim Smith.
Jim Smith. Okay. See, he knows more than but anyhow, we were fortunate to get that. We have an area here dedicated to veterans and different people from the area that serve. A couple of Purple Hearts from one belonged to Paul Rupert and the other one Claire Miller. Not Claire Miller. Yeah, Claire Johnson.
And notice that sign here, a lot of those people that I know, they were part of that Bellefonte unit that served in the Desert Storm. Is
Yeah.
all of them on?
All
You
these,
know?
these were all people from this area, right?
That
right.
served
In the Gulf War, the first Gulf War.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
And we have our sports display, activities display, baseball uniforms, other things from dance class and ice skating, sled riding, Cub Scouts. And up in the corner, I have a couple of Chromebooks, if anybody's interested. There are 26 videos on there of people who went to school here and were interviewed. So, last but not least, we go up here at the front. We have a display case for local writers and a photographer who took a picture of the spillway in 1972. It's the only time the water ever went over the spillway in the dam in Blanchard.
I witnessed it. Stood right beside him as the water was going over.
And this is a scale model of the that lived in Beech Creek built that, and they wanted to donate it, and I said, yeah. And the last thing I'll talk about is some maps on the wall here of different parts of the area. And this collage in the middle here, which was made by the 5th grade students at Liberty Curtin School about 10 years ago. And I gave a speech there at the beginning of school about the area and what happened here, what kind of businesses there were and everything. And at the end of the school year, they called me up and said, would you like to see what we've done? And I said, yes, and I went over and this is what they had. And I was just overjoyed that they'd come up with that. And then when they called for a week or so later, it said, would you like to have that in the museum? I said, yes, please. But it tells the story of the area. It's the farming, the brickyards, the lumbering, the coal mines. So, I told you it would take long. If anybody else has any questions, feel free to ask me or Joe. And we'll try to help you out any way we can.
I have a question. When you consider Lock Haven in that area, in the German migration, there were 3 German-based religions in Lock Haven. We had the Catholic, the Reformed, it's now it's now part of the United Church of Christ, and the Lutherans.
Yeah.
But the churches in this area were all Methodist.
There was a
and
Presbyterian
Baptist,
church.
Presbyterian, but they're all, sort of English, Scottish-based churches.
Yeah, we had the, well, in Blanchard, there was the Liberty Baptist,
Right.
Church of Christ.
Yeah.
In Beech Creek, we had the Presbyterian Church. And we had the Wesleyan Church.
So that's basically new.
Yeah.
That's
And
part of the original.
I'm trying to think of what they, the church, they had a different name for that religion at the time when it was in the little building down on Main Street.
Pilgrim Holiness.
Pilgrim Holiness, that's it. But now it's Wesleyan. But and we had the Methodist Church. And
But again, John Wesley, and
Yeah.
he was English.
Yeah. Yeah.
We always said we had more churches than we had beer gardens. Now it's,
Now
but then
it's
it went, now it's not.
4 to
it's
1
not-
against.
Was in Center County, which, it's kind of unique, but I guess when it came to taxation, it created a little problem because Center County wasn't getting much because the fact that that goes back a few years.
In our books here, we have 2 books by Harry and Vera Lingle, one about Liberty Township, one about Beech Creek. We have some poems by Dr. Horn, and some other poems and things by David and Mary Hass.